Can't nobody love somebody that do not love themselves. You are what you choose to be. It's not up to no one else.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emanuela Valentina, aka Miss Evie, and welcome back to Life is a Metaphor. I've been promising you guys videos for so long and I sincerely apologize. Life has just gotten in the way a little bit, but we are finally here. This is going to be a really lovely story time, and so go grab a cup of tea, grab a glass of wine, whatever you like to have to cool down, to chill down, because this will be a little bit of a lengthy video, but hopefully not too long, just explaining some things and discussing my education story and my uni story. So I recently finished my midwifery degree, and I've been working as a midwife for the last about 6 months at the moment, and I just wanted to do a little bit of a history of my educational path, how I got there and all of those kind of things. Before I do that, just a few shout outs that I need to do. Shout out to Ellie Maya Beauty for my lashes. Girls, if you want beautiful mink lashes, @EllieMaya_beauty on Instagram, that is your go-to. Shout out to my amazing hairstylist, London Beauty Spot. As you all know, I don't play with my hair. It's always London Beauty Spot on the slay. She can slay anything. Currently growing out my pixie and it looks amazing. Shout outs to her as well. Shout outs to myself and my own brand, which is going to be released very soon. This is a custom made pillow by my own brand, Maison de l'Amour actually, and yeah, you can get whatever quote on it. This says, "The future depends on your dreams, so go to sleep." So yeah guys, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Maison Amour Limited, so follow all these three amazing vendors and I promise you will not be disappointed. Yeah, so let's kickstart this video. So my educational path. So I've always been one of those children that was just, you know, really brainy, always had my head stuck in a book, you know, always reading something or the other. I was always in the top set at school, you know, always kicking ass when I was doing my education, always. And then hit secondary school and it continued. So I went to an all-girls Catholic grammar school. You had to do an exam to get in. So it was one of those schools where everybody was sort of on that same sort of level of intelligence. Was it competitive? I felt like it was competitive. But I am thankful that I went there for my education because it really did push me to be better than what I thought I could be. Getting towards the end of secondary school, coming to make your choices for GCSE, you know, deciding what you want to do, and I was really geared up to go to uni to study medicine. I wanted to be an obstetrician. That was the goal, that was the dream. I'm pretty sure a lot of kids start off wanting to do medicine or be a doctor until, you know, you actually come to find out how difficult it is to get to that point. So GCSEs, you know, did them, finished them, got 2 A stars, 8 A's, 1 B, not too bad. And then it came to A levels. Now, no one prepares you for that jump from GCSE to A-level. It's just nobody prepares you for it whatsoever. You get told it's tough, it's hard, but nobody actually tells you that it's literally like jumping from doing a degree to a PhD without doing a master's or anything in between. It's just going from like no experience to having to be experienced in everything. So when it came to choosing my options, I was really stuck because I was one of these kids that I feel like I could have, anything I put my mind to, I just feel like I can do. So I could have studied anything to become pretty much anything. So I decided that I was going to go down the medicine route and still, you know, do medicine. So I studied biology, chemistry, maths and psychology for A-level. Yes, I was probably mad because doing those combination of subjects is a real killer. If you don't have the brain for it, guys, I don't advise it. It was the stress of my life for the year that I did it for. So it started off okay. It didn't start off too bad. Psychology was probably my favorite subject. It was just so interesting. I was doing really well in it. It was quite essay based, and to be honest, looking back now, I probably should have done English literature and language because those were the GCSEs that I actually got A star full marks in both of them. And I love to write, I love to read. I don't know why I didn't, but you know, hopefully English will come into my life at some point. Yeah, so psychology was amazing. Biology I absolutely loved, and obviously I just thought to myself, oh, as a doctor, biology is, you know, really important. I've got to get into it. And but funnily enough, I came to realize that most universities and schools actually look at your chemistry grade when you're doing medicine, and you know, so many places put a lot of emphasis on chemistry. Being in the field I am in now and looking at how obs and gynae work, I don't think chemistry has pretty much anything to do with the job, to be honest. But why unis look for that, I don't know. So it was going well for the first few months, and then we had our quarterly exams. Did the quarterly exams, I didn't do terribly. It was okay. It wasn't the best, but it was all right. You know, it was, you know, starting point. I knew what I had to work on and all of these things. Getting towards halfway through the year, this was my first year of A levels. So this was where we still had AS levels. So this was year 12. I was about 16, 17. Getting towards, you know, sort of the middle of the year, or getting towards, yeah, the middle end of the year, my mum fell a little bit ill and was sort of in and out of hospital. My responsibilities at home increased slightly and I had to do a little bit more. So I was putting a little less emphasis on my studying and a little more on trying to make sure things at home were all good and stuff like that. It was a little bit stressful, but not majorly stressful. At the time, I also had a 6-month-old baby sister because my sister was born when I was about 17-ish. Yeah, so I had all of this going on, but I thought, oh, it's all good, I can cope, it's all fine, I'm good. But with A levels, one thing I noticed was that if you weren't constantly studying, it was really, really hard to keep your grades up. I don't know if maybe it's just me that found that, but I just found it really, really tough to stay on that, you know, that top level. So as the year went on, my grades were just slipping, especially in chemistry and maths. Maths was a goner. From the 4th month, I think my maths grades were just shocking and I couldn't get it back up, and I just struggled. I used to sit in lessons just so confused, and so I really, really wanted to drop maths. But the school I went to, you had to do 4 AS levels, and then when you got to year 13, you could drop 1 and just do the 3. So it was really, really tough. So I had planned in my head that, okay, I'm definitely going to drop either maths or chemistry. One of them has to go because they were both really stressing me out. Biology and psychology were okay. So got to the end of the year. By the end of the year, my mom was really, really unwell. She'd had an operation, was due to have another one. Honest to God, I was barely able to study as hard as I needed to for my AS levels. I remember being up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning trying to study for an exam that started at 8 a.m. So I wasn't shocked when my grades came through. My grades came through and, you know, opened that envelope, and what did I see? All I saw was BCUU, and I was like, whoa, wowza. Never in my life had I ever gotten a C in anything before, let alone a UU. Saw the BCUU and I said, Lord, what does this even mean? What do I do? Where do I go? I was literally so confused. I didn't know what to do. My mum wasn't that well. I was just so stressed out. And so obviously I felt like my medicine dream was just in the bin, you know. Dun, 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 dun. I had to get rid of that. So I had to come up with a plan B. Now, I'd always had the plan of midwifery there somewhere in my head because it was linked to obs and gynae somehow. But I never actually looked into the role of a midwife, not until my mum fell pregnant with my little sister and I started going to scans and stuff with her, and I realised what the job entailed. So I started doing a bit of research after my sister was born, and I realised I really did like what it entailed. So after I'd, you know, miserably flopped my AS levels, I said, okay, I need to find a plan B, you know, do something else. What do I do? So I enrolled at college in 2014, I believe. Yes, 2014, I enrolled in college. I did a BTEC level 3 in health and social care. And honest to God, college was probably my biggest turning point in my whole entire life. And I'm so grateful that I actually went to college because it brought me out as a person. There were so many traits and characteristics that I had that I didn't know I had until I started college. And the reason why I say this is because college was a lot more independent. It was independent learning. It was a lot more essay based, less exams. And although I'd probably done really well in exams as a student when I was in secondary school, as time went on, I realized that I was better at essay writing, but not as great in my exams. So college really worked for me because, you know, it was mostly essay writing, very, very, very few exams and tests. So I really, really flourished in college. Did my 2 years in college, of which my mum was, at that point, my mum was like horribly ill, and you know, it was very, very tough, very difficult. I remember being at college and also working about 24 hours a week on top. I had 2 part-time jobs and I was going to college at the same time. Lord knows how my coursework got done, but I managed to do it with God's help and God's strength. Finished college 2 years later in 2016 with a D-star, and I actually received an award at college for the highest achieving student throughout the 2 years, and I was the first person to get accepted into university from my college to study midwifery in 5 years. So that was a really massive achievement. I remember going to apply and being told that, oh, you don't have any experience, you haven't had kids, they might not take you. I'd worked as a healthcare assistant, I'd worked in a stroke rehabilitation centre, I'd worked on general wards as well, I'd worked as a domiciliary carer. So I had a lot of experience of general nursing, but I didn't have any experience of midwifery. But somehow I managed to write a very appealing personal statement, and I had such a massive passion for it that I just made sure that passion reflected in my personal statement and also in my interviews. I got accepted by 4 out of my 5 universities that I decided to go to, and you know, chose the one that I wanted to go to. As a result of what my home situation was like, I stayed in London just so I could stay at home and help out with my sister and all of that kind of stuff. So come September 2016, your girl started uni. Yes, man was a big girl up in uni, living life. I was like, yeah, what going? And then I didn't take out student loan to go to university because I was the final year that got into midwifery when it was still NHS funded, and so I decided to pay for everything else myself because I'd worked so much, I'd saved up a lot. So you know, bought my Mac, bought everything I needed for uni, bought a car that year, everything. You know, I you know, just was so adamant that I wouldn't pay any student loan back after I finished uni. I just wanted to, you know, get deducted my tax, my NI, and enjoy the rest of my money. So that's what I did. Was it a struggle? Got to points where it was a massive struggle, but I managed to pull through. So I started uni a month before I turned 20. So I felt like, oh my God, I'm going to uni later. All my friends started uni last year. However, with midwifery, majority of people that do it have had children before, have had life experiences, are often quite older. So I was actually one of the younger ones that was in my class for midwifery. First year sailed through, second year sailed through, got, you know, firsts in my essays. I got 100% in my OSCEs, which are like observational scenarios that we needed to do. They were a bit like practicals that you'd be filmed for them and you'd be assessed. You know, first year we didn't have any of those. Second year sailed through them, got 100% in all of them. Was, you know, flying through uni like, yeah, your girl's gonna finish with a first. You know, man's just, you know, breezing through this. It was amazing, perfect. Hit third year was going really well as well. And then probably it was around a couple of months before I finished my third year, just the day after I submitted my dissertation, I actually fell really unwell with a kidney infection. Now, initially I thought, oh, I've just got a UTI, so I'm gonna go on placement and I'm going to get some antibiotics and, you know, take it and I'll be fine. So I remember that day I had a really massive concert because I was also singing on the side while I was doing my degree. I was literally doing whatever I could to make as much money as possible, and singing is something that's like a passion for me. So I was doing music on the side. I remember my parents used to get so aggy with me because they thought that I was spending a lot more time doing music than I was with my education. But when they saw that my grades were good and there was no stress, it was a little bit better. But you know, I really did push the limit. I remember there were days where I'd do music, get home about 3 o'clock in the morning, up again at 6:30 for lectures, or up at 6:30 to go and do a 12.5-hour shift. I'd do a 12.5-hour shift, finish, and then go and do another shift for 2 hours. I used to have a little side job that I used to do as well. So guys, listen, I was just doing whatever I could just to rack in those P's because there was no student loan anywhere, and I just refused to allow myself to apply for it. So I remember submitting my dissertation. I was so happy, so excited, because writing a dissertation is one of the most stressful things you can ever do. I love writing, but boy, was that hard, especially because we had to choose a topic ourselves, and I was really passionate about the topic I chose. I think I wrote my dissertation in the experiences of second generation migrant women of maternity services in the UK, and there was not much research on this because not a lot of people had done anything related to that, so I was really adamant to do it. So it was really difficult finding research. I almost gave up on the topic, but I just thought I have to keep going because I really want to do this. So I went through with it, did my dissertation, finished, got a first in my dissertation, and I was, you know, really happy with it and everything. And then, yeah, fell ill with this kidney infection. So I remember I attended A&E 3 times, got sent home 3 times with different medication. The 4th time I went in, you know, I was just horribly unwell. I was septic. I had to pull the emergency buzzer. Everybody was running around. They were trying to get lines in my arm and all sorts. I was in hospital for about 10 days. I had a catheter in and I was on the strongest antibiotics. I got discharged from hospital, and when I got discharged from hospital, it was 11 days before my final practical exam. And I thought, oh, it's fine, it's my last exam, your girl can hack it, I'll be fine. I've had tough moments in life, this is nothing, I'm gonna be all right. So I didn't apply for extra time. I just said, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be fine. So even though I'd come out of hospital with this kidney infection, I was still in and out of hospital the whole time, you know, because the kidney infection wasn't trying to go away. I was still unwell, I was still getting symptoms back, and my infection markers were high. So for that whole month, I was in and out of hospital for about a month to 6 weeks, because they just didn't know what was wrong. They thought I had another infection. They said somehow they thought they'd seen some MRSA in my blood specimens. It was a whole bunch of things. But eventually I was well. Now, during this time, I still decided to go ahead and do this exam. Did the first exam, and I came out of the exam and I was just so unsure, and I'd never come out of an exam feeling unsure before. Came out of this exam and I said to myself, I really don't think I've passed this exam. I really feel like I failed it. And I remember going home, my mom asked me, oh, how was it? I said, yeah, it was fine. I was okay, it was all good. So when the results came back 4 weeks later and I got told that I'd failed it, I wasn't shocked because I had a really strong feeling. So with midwifery and the way the course works, when you fail something once, you get a second attempt to do it. When you do the second attempt, they cap you at 40% for that particular module or for that particular exam. So I did it a second time, did the second one. I thought the second one went really well. So, you know, was waiting for my results 6 weeks later, got the results back for the second one, and they told me that I failed again. And I was like, what? No, this is not possible. So after failing the second one, I had to, you know, write in like a statement as to why I felt like it hadn't gone well and stuff like that. So I wrote this statement and stuff, and then got given a third opportunity to do it. Now, when I received the third opportunity to do it, I'd already done the interview at the hospital that I wanted to work at. And, you know, I'd been signed off, you know, by my tutors that, yeah, you're fine, go for the job. It's not going to affect the job. You're probably going to pass this one, so don't worry about it. So I went for the job interview, got the job where I wanted to work, and also, you know, had this exam coming up that I was studying for. So I did this exam, I think the week before I started my new job, which was in September 2019. I started my new job in September 2019. I did the exam the week before, and I got the results of the exam quite late. I got them in about November. Now, I moved out of home I moved out of home in October. And when I moved out of home in October, I got the results of the exam 2 weeks after I'd moved out. Bear in mind, guys, I've moved about 50 miles away from home, you know, living in my own place. I've, you know, put down a deposit. I've bought things to decorate with. You know, I've gone, you know, your girl's gone all out, like, yeah, I got my own place, let's live life. And then, was waiting for my pin to come through for me to start midwifery, because with midwifery and nursing, and also with obstetrics and most medical things, you need a pin to come through before you can start working. So I was waiting for this pin to come through, and it was taking a while, and I explained to my workplace that I'm waiting for the pin to come through because a few of my things got marked later because I was ill, so I did some things later on. Now, waiting for all of this to happen, and then I think probably the second week of November, I got a call and an email from my uni saying that I basically failed the third attempt, and, you know, that was the third and final attempt. And with midwifery and nursing, if you fail anything 3 times, that's it. You don't get your degree. There's no repeating the year. You fail the whole course, like the whole thing. They fail you for the whole degree. You don't get your degree. They try to give you like a healthcare certificate that you literally can't do anything with. So I was beyond devastated, beyond gutted. I've got this new job, I've moved to a new area, I've got no friends in this new area, I don't know anybody, I've just started a new job in a new place, I haven't even been able to start the job properly because I was still waiting for this pin to come through, and now I need to tell my employers that basically I can't work as a qualified midwife because I failed. I was absolutely gutted. I didn't know what to do. So I went to the lady that was looking after the new midwives, and I explained the situation to her, and I literally didn't step foot at work for about 6 weeks. I just couldn't bring myself to go there. I was indoors all the time. I was so upset. I couldn't tell my parents. My mom was so eager for me to graduate. I was the first person in my family that was going to graduate. Everybody was just so excited, and I'm coming to give them this downer that, guys, I've literally failed uni. I failed my whole degree. I tried to find ways and means of appealing. I said, what can I do to appeal? I really, really need to know how I can appeal this, because I need this degree. There's nothing I can do. I got told that I had to write a massive letter to an appeals team. I had to get, somebody really, I needed to get all this professional help, and, they're really unlikely to say yes to me. And so I literally had to go through this appeal. So this was about November. So I had to come to an agreement with my workplace as to what they wanted me to do. Whether that I said to them, you know what, I understand if I can't keep the job because I'm not a qualified midwife. I can't do anything right now, because at that point I was in between being a midwife and being a maternity care assistant. There was literally they didn't know where to place me. So they said to me, okay, we're going to keep you because we really loved you at the interview. We really thought that you were a really amazing candidate for the job. So we're going to keep you. However, obviously you can't work as a midwife. So I had to work as a maternity and gynae care assistant. And I started that in November while I was going through this appeals process. So I was going through this appeals process. I wrote my appeal, I sent it off, and then eventually I broke the news to my parents. My mum was really, really upset. I could just remember her just sounding so devastated on the phone. My dad was really, really supportive. He was like, oh, do you know what? I just feel like if you do this appeal, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna get it. My dad is a really positive person, so he's just like, you're gonna get it, you'll be fine, just pray, you'll be okay. Sent this appeal off and was just praying. When I tell you that I was a broken woman, I'm not even lying. I was completely and utterly just broken. I literally just didn't know what to do with myself. I was just devastated. I didn't know how I was gonna survive. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Because I'm in a job that I can't do. So now I've had to take a role that's gonna pay me almost like £1,000 less than what I'm supposed to earn. I've moved to a new place. I've got bills to pay. I'm literally trying to live this adult life on a salary that I don't know how I'm gonna cope. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. And I'm somebody who's always been so reluctant to ask for help. So on top of all of that happening, my car also broke down at the same time at that point. When my car broke down at that point, that was the tipping point for me. I just thought my whole life was just in shatters, over. And I had to find out what was wrong with my car, and I got told that it was my engine. Double wahala, double stress. Like, everybody knows that an engine in a car is like, that's what gets the car moving, and it costs grands. And I was just there like, right by now, I haven't even got grands to do this. I haven't even got grands to take care of myself, let alone to pay for this car that's getting me from A to B. So I had all this like stress going on, and I just didn't know what to do with myself. So I sent this appeal off. I just prayed. Only one or two of my friends knew what was going on, and they were like really, really supportive. Like, they just like prayed with me like, Els, you're gonna be fine. Els, you're so intelligent, you're so smart. Like, your educational path hasn't been straightforward at every hurdle. And I remember my dad saying that to me, that, Els, if you look back, ever since you did your GCSEs, there's always been a stumble in your education. There's always been something massive that's happened, whether it's your mum being ill, whether it's something else that's going on, and you've always been able to overcome it, because that's what you do. You're an overcomer, and your life is literally meant to be a testimony, and that's the reason why you go through these things. And one of my friends said the same thing. He was like, your life is meant to be a testimony to other people, and so that's the reason why you're going through what you're going through. It's all a test for a testimony. And I just had to stay really, really positive and really strong and just believe what they were saying. So I sent this appeal off in December. I remember I sent it off, I think it was probably about the second week of December that I sent it off. Sent it all and was just praying to God. I didn't receive a response until the end of January. And you know, the whole time I was so anxious. I remember my personal tutor at uni telling me, oh, it's highly unlikely you're going to get it, so it's good to look at alternatives. I was now sitting there looking at alternative degrees that I could study, what I could do with this certificate. I was like, oh, maybe I should go and do this, maybe I'll go and study, do a degree in social work, maybe I'll go and do this, maybe I'm just going to go back and do what I said my backup plan would be, which was to go into hair and beauty. I was literally just there trying to rack my brains. At that point in time, I didn't know what I was doing with myself, and I just, you know, had to just try and stay positive throughout the whole thing. I finally got a reply at the end of January, and I was so nervous to open the email. So I remember I opened the email with one of my friends, and I was like, literally, like, I can't open this email. Opened the email, read it, and they had accepted my appeal and had given me the opportunity to do it again. And all I can remember doing was just crying my eyes out, just crying, tears of joy, tears of happiness, tears of sadness, tears of frustration that these last couple of months have just been so horrendous for me. So I retook the exam in February 2020. I retook the exam in February 2020, just before all this COVID madness happened. Retook the exam, and I remember just, you know, I came out of the exam and I just thought, God, I've got this. I know I've got this. I know I've done this. I know I've passed this exam. So because of how much stress I'd been through, all my tutors at uni knew that I'd been through so much stress, and they said, oh, we're not going to keep you waiting long for your results. You're going to we'll let you know today. So I said, okay, fine. So they literally said to me, yeah, just sit and wait, and then we'll give you the result. So I remember sitting there waiting for about 30 minutes, and when I say this was more than butterflies in my stomach, this felt like I had a whole butterfly farm just living in my stomach, because my stomach was just turning. And then she came outside, and I couldn't read the look on her face. So I was like, oh my God, like, what's gonna happen? And then she said to me, hold on, I know it's been a long road, but you've got there, you've passed, you know, you've got your degree. And I couldn't believe it. I remember just saying thank you. I got up and I just walked out of that university, literally didn't look anywhere. And I couldn't believe what had just been said. So I literally remember just walking, just kept on walking, didn't even know where I was walking to. And then, you know, I remember I came back to mine, and I told my friends, and I told my parents, and my parents were just so excited, so happy. I told my hospital that, where I got the job, that, I've passed the exam now. And then after I passed the exam, because of COVID, my PIN was delayed for a couple of weeks. Finally got my PIN and started working as a midwife on the 24th of April 2020. And I cannot tell you how excited and how happy I was, how relieved I was that I could finally do this dream job that I've been wanting to do for however many years. And, you know, that's been my educational path since I was 16. I've never had this straightforward path of education, but somehow, somewhere, I've always managed to just pull through. And yeah, so my graduation was supposed to be in July 2020. Nevertheless, as y'all know, COVID-19, Sister Corona, has literally come and just scattered everything. So yeah, I couldn't graduate, but I'm just thankful that even though I couldn't graduate, I've got my degree. I've managed to, you know, accomplish what I needed to accomplish, and God does everything for a reason. Because I think to myself that last year I wasn't in an amazing place, so I feel like even if I qualified last year, there were so many things that, as much as I had the whole appeal going on, I also had a bunch of personal things that I went through between August and February this year, that I just knew that had I qualified, I probably would have, you know, either made a huge error at work, or something wouldn't have gone right. And I just felt like I qualified at a point where the whole experience had made me so mature and made me realize that patience truly is a virtue, that waiting is an amazing thing, and that, you know, you can do anything that you put your mind to. And that more so that no matter how long something takes you in life, as long as you're meant to be, no matter how hard life fights at you, you're gonna get there, and you're gonna achieve what you need to achieve. So yeah, that is my educational path, my educational story. So yeah, when you guys see your girl all excited, proudly taking snaps and pictures in my uniform, it's because it took a long time to get there. It took a lot of stress, it took a lot of tears, it took sleepless nights to get to where I am now. This is definitely nowhere near the end. This is just the beginning. And I'm just so grateful and thankful. Massive thank you to my parents. They've been so supportive of my educational path ever since I was a child. And one thing that I really adore is that they never imposed any kind of subject on me to study. They always left me to just make a decision as to what I wanted to study. I never had pressure to be a doctor or pressure to be a lawyer or anything. They just wanted me to study whatever made me happy, and I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for them. I'm so thankful for my circle of my small circle of friends, especially my brothers. You guys know how much I love you, and I'm just so thankful for you guys, to have you guys in my life, because you lot just kept me going. Even when I was feeling sorry for myself, you guys didn't allow me to feel sorry for myself. You let me just, you literally picked me up, kept me going, kept me moving, and I am so thankful, so grateful, so grateful. And obviously, as all praise goes to the Most High for being here today, for being able to share this story with you guys, and for being able to be where I am now. And I don't share this story to brag or to boast, but I share this story to encourage somebody out there that I know that life can really come at you fast and life can really hit you hard. But don't ever sit on your dreams, sit on your plans, sit on something that you've prayed to God for, that you know is destined for you. Like I always say, midwifery was a God-given vocation, and I think this story in itself is evidence that it was a God-given vocation. Definitely not a vocation that I chose or that was given to me by man, because had that been the case, once I stumbled once, I probably wouldn't have even gotten into uni, let alone finishing the degree in that kind of way. And I'm just so thankful, so thankful to God for that. So I know that was a bit of a long one. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. There is definitely going to be more videos coming out much sooner than this one, and I promise they will be coming out very soon. Keep an eye out, watch this space. This space is also going to have some music stuff on it as well. So yeah, y'all, watch your girl, Miss Evie. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, share this video with everybody who you think is going to be interested in watching it, and give me ideas of what other videos you guys would like to see. Once again, thank you so much. Thanks for joining me on Life as a Metaphor. My name is Miss Emanuela Valentina, and I am signing out. Thank you.
Prayed I would find a way to another day. I was so afraid till you came and saved me.